Since you've kind of just grew into this as Texas only, like were you able to figure out, does Texas make it more difficult versus going to somewhere else, another region of the country?
I don't know if I would say more difficult. It's just different. It's just a different flavor profile, different process, because you have to be able to produce in Texas, deal with the climate and the weather conditions in Texas. But not knowing anything else, I don't know if it's more difficult. It just feels different.
It's what you know, right? That's what you've grown up with. It's kind of, if you're dealing with it every day, you don't know what else is out there. I understand that. So what else have you kind of learned as part of the whiskey process there that, makes it truly something TX? I mean, you mentioned the grains. What about the fermentation process, the water, or anything like that?
So with the fermentation process, that is something that, at least here in Texas, we had to make sure that we don't let the ambient temperature overheat the fermentation. We want to make sure that we're still having healthy fermentations. Bringing Rob back into this, I'd say 90% of what we're producing, we use a yeast that Rob isolated from a pecan nut, and it's just been the house yeast strain that we use. So seeing those flavors whenever we do produce with that versus when we're producing with a commercial yeast, it's always fun to see those flavor differences. I think for me, I always try everything back to flavor and then how it matures and how it processes, just because that's my most fun way of experiencing the whiskey, through flavor and aroma.
Well, Fred, I know I've eaten many a pecan pie in my life. I don't know if I've been able to extract a yeast strain from it.
No, we had a pecan tree that grew in our backyard. It was enormous, and like pecans are like a very familiar flavor profile, but it's kind of one like I want to talk to Pat Heist of like, ooh, what kind of yeast would a pecan yield? So I find that fascinating actually. But the pecan trees are everywhere in Texas and Oklahoma, so I can see that yeast is everywhere, right? So it's I can see that being a part of it. But I will say I don't think that's been as widely publicized as it probably should be.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that pecan nut still intact somewhere, and is it like in a glass case that people can see?
No, but if we don't tell anybody, I'll go find a pecan nut and put it in a glass case somewhere. And Rob did go to a farm or some land here in Glenrose, Texas, and he got the pecan nut, and it was great for our marketing team as well, just because I think the pecan tree is a Texas state tree, and we still have the mother culture somewhere, just to make sure that we're not switching too much, just because we really love the flavor that comes off of that yeast.